All right, back with another video. This one's on Enza again. Hopefully, this is my last time making the video. My last video, one of my ended wondering what Chelsea would do, asking you guys to comment what we think Chelsea could do in a situation like this, and they've decided to do nothing. They've decided to just sit on their hands. They did release this sort of apology. I'll read and discuss. But yeah, they've ultimately decided to just do nothing. Very, and I think another video I'm just shooting off the cuff again. Definitely think that their version of doing nothing, they're doing it in the worst possible way by actually doing nothing. Like there's a way to they can go about this and like do nothing, protect themselves, not help anybody out, but like not further throw gas on the situation. So reading this apology, if you want to call it that, Chelsea Football Club finds all forms of discriminatory behavior completely unacceptable. We are proud to be a diverse, inclusive club where people from all cultures, communities, and identities feel welcome. Besides Wesley Fofana and Benoit Badiashile and Malo Gusto, we acknowledge and appreciate our players. Our players, they didn't even name them too. I'm just peeping this. They didn't even name Enzo. Our players' public apology, and we'll use this as an opportunity to educate. The club has instigated an internal disciplinary procedure. So, internal dis- internal disciplinary procedures at professional organizations, professional sporting organizations. That's just kind of a way for a club to kind of just share with their fans and a way to kind of like keep people quiet that they're going to do absolutely nothing about a situation. It's their way of just kind of kindly sharing that they think that this isn't a serious issue that needs to be dealt with, but for some reason, a large amount of people will be angry about it. So something is going on, and discipline is happening. It will not be public. It will not affect the player in any way. So yeah, that's pretty much what a internal disciplinary procedure looks like, and I'm sure at a club like Chelsea, it's no different. For this situation, they're not even willing to say the name of Enzo or give any accountability for his actions. So that kind of shows that Chelsea took the worst route to do nothing. You can there's really many ways to solve a situation like this, and you can do nothing, but if you want to do nothing, you need to make sure you do it in a way where the problem doesn't get bigger. We know what I wanted to happen. I thought we could cut ties with a player or publicly suspend him for half of the season, make this punishment public, make everything about this how Chelsea's dealing with the public, and Chelsea quickly turned around and said they will handle this internally. So Chelsea's not showing any interest to kind of take down the kind of racist strongholds that kind of hold in the sport through chants, through fans. So I think this is a very weak message to share with fans about how you're going to deal with an issue. I feel terribly for Wesley Fofana and just any player that this issue affects within the club, especially. I think this is literally the club kind of just turning their back on those players. I'm sure they're trying to take care of them in the internal disciplinary procedures or whatever, but like I don't know. I'd be shocked if the player, especially Fofana, since he's the one who made the tweet, kind of calling Enzo out for his actions. I'd be shocked if he's pleased in any way. Fofana is a very important player if we're going to bring it to abilities. As like clearly the club, all they see it as is an issue of quality and just keeping the players they see as the highest quality, the highest investment. Just their focus clearly on just making sure those players are happy, and those players can continue to play for the club. And yeah, we can just kind of try to brush this under the rug. Very, very upsetting with how they're trying to do that and just aren't taking any action. Yes, they're gonna say this is this is an issue that we are Argentinian FA has to deal with. That is not the case, especially when it's a player of Enzo's stature. We do hold a responsibility for these players' actions, even if they're on our international stage. We are trying to leverage that man's last name every day to sell jerseys, to sell tickets. So he is definitely our responsibility, whether this action was in a Chelsea kit or with the international team. Um, and yeah, and then to kind of get into the worst way Chelsea decide to do nothing, um, kind of when problems like these arise, I didn't even get into this in the last video because I thought it was gonna be kind of common sense for an organization the stature of Chelsea. But kind of when something happens, you have an issue, kind of PR media issue. The first step is you kind of look at it and you say, can like, what is this issue? And you don't even say how can we solve it. You do not say how can we solve it. That is not the first question you ask. You ask how can we not make this an issue we can't control? You ask yourself, can we control the issue? The answer for Chelsea was yes, we can control this issue. But I don't think they necessarily asked how ways or looked into ways they could possibly make this worse. Kind of the first step to this, I thought that was really clear, was going to be there's going to be a parade with your player, kind of, who is the main kind of character in all of this, where your player will be paraded through a stadium of fans who may decide to chant. Maybe they'll decide to chant the same chant that all their favorite players and idols were chanting on the bus. Maybe they just might decide to do that. And maybe having your star player paraded around that arena might not be the best idea at this time. I'm not sure how this wasn't thought. I'm not sure how they thought this wouldn't kind of throw gas into the fire. So kind of how can you handle that? You you bring Enzo to London. I don't know why this wasn't the first step in everything, was kind of getting him back to London as soon as possible. I know he's technically on vacation and they're on a break. He gets a longer break because he was away. Like that kind of ruined that for yourself when you're a racist on a live stream. You kind of ruin those things for yourself. And he made this an issue that Chelsea kind of had to take care of. They decided not to take care of it. They decided like this isn't our problem. We're not gonna do anything about it. And I don't know why. So yeah, they decided that this is an issue we're gonna handle. We're gonna let not even let maybe they didn't even think about. I'm willing to think they didn't even think about this. Yeah, we're not even gonna try to get Enzo back to London. Yeah, that's the first step. You get the why would you risk be having him in a place where you kind of can't control like the racist kind of stemming issues that will just naturally flow from this person's presence. It's kind of the issue here. And Enzo kind of has a presence now that will affect and cause this. I don't think Enzo's mm, I think Enzo made I think he made a mistake. I don't think he's racist necessarily. But at this point he is seen as kind of the face of that chant, and that was kind of an issue I kind of foresaw. I kind of expected Chelsea to kind of foresee and deal with it maybe. Get him to London, like don't let him hang around Argentina too long. I know he's on a break. I know he can like do what he wants. I know he's a grown man, but like call him like and say, "Hey, like we're dealing with a bunch of crap. We need you to get to London cuz you have to hold yourself like we need somebody to be accountable for this issue. We can't just do nothing even though they decided to do nothing. We can't just do nothing. We and even if you're not like trying to do these things and have him involved to solve the problem, lie to him. Just lie to him and make him get to London by any means necessary. So things like this, which way is it? I need to get used to it. Things like yeah, there we go. This do not occur. It's very avoidable, I think, and um, also the phone call works. Send somebody to get him keep going up the chain. We've to get him to London the first time, we had to it cost us 100 mil and getting our head owner over there to close the deal. Our directors couldn't do it on their own. Our owner had to fly out. I'm assuming if the people involved can't get him back to London, have Boyd fly out and try to get him back. Maybe Iqbali can actually do something, get off his butt and do something for once. Because clearly, we ain't too busy with transfers. Like, I would love to talk about how we're not doing anything in the transfer window and having an extremely poor transfer window, how we can't sell key players that we've been trying to sell for over 2 years now. I would love to talk about that kind of stuff, but I, I, I can't because we are doing nothing about a serious situation. We're turning our back on humans, and if that's not enough for you, we're turning our back on very important people with inside our club. Um, yeah, it's a mess. I think Chelsea are just gonna try to get out of the news cycle or whatever. Just try to see themselves through this without having to take any real action. Um, I mean, they could have always gone away with doing it. I think they're picking the worst way to go about it, and they're allowing this issue to be fueled and not taking accountability. Like they couldn't even put Enzo's name in like, come on, like there's things we can do. We can there's better ways to be bad people. Like figure it out. Don't make the issue worse. I think that's the least Chelsea could have done is try to at least contain their player, because that's how they're the player. Not even Enzo, he's the player according to Chelsea. So they could have contained the player. In London would have been an ideal place to contain the player, where he couldn't make this kind of appearance. He already celebrated his World Cup there. He can miss the Copa America celebration, especially after what he did. Yeah, I I see. I think it's a mess. I don't think Enzo's gonna learn a lesson from this. I don't think soccer fans are gonna learn a lesson from this. I don't think any young Argentinian fans are gonna learn a lesson from this because they are all there chanting, and I don't know. Enzo's the face of the chant right now, and got to do something about it.